Everybody, welcome back with the Plapper. Platypus is the name, and welcome to another P5X video. Today, I think we have two W's and a middle thing here. So, what's happening? The devs are apparently listening, and I don't want to give 16-Bit Bear all the credit, but he did release that video, and he did tweet out them directly, and then like 3 days later, they posted this. Maybe they've been working on this. I don't know. But my headcanon is that they fear the bear. So thank you, 16-Bit Bear, for doing this, my co-host. So what's going on here? They released a letter today addressing multiple things. Basically, the three biggest issues people have with the game right now. I think you could go into other issues that I have with the game beyond this stuff, but that's not as important. Let's just focus on what the big issues in the game are and what they're actually addressing here. There's this letter. I'm going to put a link to this letter down below. It's pretty long. We're going to summarize it to make it a little easier to follow. So number one here, they're talking about the 110 banner. So there is currently, right, we all know how the banner system works in the game. If you don't, then you don't play the game. You don't need to know. But there is a second banner system in CN, which is 110. It takes 110 pulls to guarantee a unit. However, like the rate is way lower, but then every time you pull 160 total, you're guaranteed like a random draw from the standard banner, something like that. It's like a different banner system, and I think it's arguable if it's better or not. Mathematically, it's not better, but there are situations where it could be better in your situation. Me and Bear went over it in a podcast. Point is, people really want this. It took 6 months to come out in the Chinese version, but they've basically said that they are working to implement it earlier. That it takes time, but they are planning to bring it earlier than the 6 months when they haven't updated it. But it does sound like the 110 banner will for sure be coming to standard. Global, which is my standard version of the game, which is good because I think people weren't even sure if they were going to add the 110 banner. So that will be here. That is awesome. We appreciate that. I don't plan on pulling on this banner probably ever, but I know that this was a complaint players have. Next, Minami's Cognite and 5-star weapon. This is the biggest one here. In fact, this is so big. Let's go to the bad news first. So, addition of new characters to the golden ticket. Basically, this is what they said, and they've doubled down again. In the Chinese Asia versions, the 5-star Phantom Idols, including ones listed below, were added immediately after their most wanted period. In the Japanese and Western versions, we plan to add them roughly 6 months after initial release. This is the two characters, the character coming out in like a couple days, and Miriam, right? Minami, I don't remember her. I can't remember her name right now. But these two characters. So they have said that they're doubling down on this. Basically, it's going to be 6 months. Now, the reason why this isn't an L, in my opinion, it is an L, but it's not really, is me and Bear talked about it, and I think he's doing more research and a better video than I am. But at this point, they're addressing this. They're addressing this, which I think is going to be huge. We'll get to it. And they're addressing like a lot of other stuff we'll get to. Like, this feels like there's more going on. That this is not purely that they don't want to address this and make it so it's possible, but there might be some reason beyond that's outside of their control that they can't do this. Maybe it's legality. Maybe it's just like investors into the Western version of the game. I don't know, but it feels like because they're doubling down on it, and again, after not backtracking, but after correcting so many other things, I almost feel like they want to change this and they're just unable to for some reason. So it is an L that this is a change, but I am willing to wait to hear more about the why before I'm going to say that this is purely them being greedy. So back to the Minami and the Cognite Shard and the 5-star weapon. They are going to give us a way to get these. How is that going to happen? I have to talk about something else first, but they are addressing this with a new system that they are adding. Let us go to tasks. Name not final. Brought to you by Carl's Jr. We are currently working on a feature that players can obtain various items by dispatching characters of their choosing through tasks. Name Not Final, brought to you by Carl's Jr. Players can obtain special item once a week called the Thieves Cognite Shard. Once you get 60, you can exchange it for a Cognite to increase a character's awareness, right? So this is the system they're implementing. This is not new. However, they're planning it for 2.0, which I believe that's earlier than initially. I believe it was 3. I could be wrong. So don't listen to me on that. But they are introducing this in the 2.0 version of the game. And once a week, you get 1/60th of a dupe. So it's going to take over a year to get one dupe is what this sounds like, without some other way where you can maybe randomly get them. This doesn't sound good, but this will give you more than just the Cognite Shard. I'm sure this will be a lot of, resources to rank up characters and stuff and whatnot. But this is going to be the system that they're going to use. Basically, it's the Cognite Shards. By gathering 60, players can exchange it to awaken characters. In the Chinese Asia versions, they can only be used to awaken characters that are on the gold tickets. In the Japanese Western versions, this feature will also extend to other 5-star characters like Joker, Minami, Yui, Yusuke, Makoto, and Yumi. So you are going to be able to max awaken Joker for free over a long period of time. This is not fast, but you will be able to use any of the Phantom Thieves, because it's literally all the Phantom Thieves. I guess besides, this doesn't say Haru or Futaba, but all the Phantom Thieves currently in the game, right? Because the rest are on the standard banner. Being able to max out Yusuke, ooh, I'm tempted. Being able to max out freaking Makoto, that's some good news. So this, they might add more in version 2.0. Will be available for the exchange. Details will be announced at a later date. The item can be obtained for the feature. Okay, so the Cognite Shard, and this is the special thing where they mention the Minami dupe. Basically, mid-September, we plan to hold a special campaign exclusive to the Western and Japanese versions, where players are able to obtain Thief Cognite Shards and a 5-star weapon. You are going to be able to get 60 Cognite Shards, and you are going to be able to get, I believe, 1 weapon. So Minami's weapon is going to be in there. So you're going to be able to get 60 Cognite Shards, which means instead of a Minami dupe, you're going to be able to get a dupe of nearly any character that's been in the game. Every character that's been in the game thus far, the ones that they are adding next aren't going to be in there. But now, instead of just getting a Minami Shard, you can get your favorite character. I would still recommend getting the healing shard, but being able to get any 5-star weapon as well, that's going to be huge. Big fan of that. So this is basically what they're doing, right? But that's not all. In addition to that, we are also getting Lufel's Business Plan EX, name not final, brought to you by Carl's Jr. We plan to add an expansion to the business plan as a brand new feature for the Japanese and Western versions. The reward for this feature will make it easier for players to forge their 5-star weapons obtained through daily play. We do not know when this is going to happen, and we have no details on this. We don't know how easy or hard this is going to actually be. This could be a nothing burger, but this is, with all the other positives, I'm looking on this favorably. But wait, that's not all. There are items available for purchase in the CN version of the game that we do not have access to. Apparently, this is what they're telling me. I didn't even know. So they say here, we plan to offer new items for the Japanese Western versions to replace items that cannot be sold. So basically, there are things that cannot be sold because of gambling restrictions in the Western world that aren't going to be the same in China, I guess. And so they're going to try to add items that have an equal value, even though they're basically going to let us spend more money. So we should be getting some higher value items in the shop coming up in the in the upcoming patches. But wait, that's not all. They are going to, at the large scale update 2.0, to celebrate this update, players will be able to obtain 20 tickets and 20 platinum tickets, platinum coins as login bonuses. So everyone's going to be getting 20 and 20. That is massive. So let me summarize here. No one can argue the standard characters taking 6 months to go into the gold tickets is kind of lame, but they're adding the 110 banner. The dispatch mode is getting added, which is going to be tons of resources in general and will allow us to slowly farm dupes. They're also giving us 60 free Cognite, which is basically, instead of getting Minami and her weapon, we are going to get a selector to replace them. And they're adding basically every character into the game thus far up to the next character coming out. So Makoto and Phoebe, I believe, are going to be in there that are going to be farmable. everyone's getting 20 platinum tickets, 20 platinum coins, potentially more high value shop items to replace the things we aren't able to buy that were in the Chinese version, and Lufel's Plan EX for easier weapon forging for 5 stars. I mean, honestly, this is just a straight list of W's and positive changes. It reads to me. Maybe I'm a simp, all right? We already know that I'm a Persona simp and that I've been kind of just playing the game and loving it despite all the negativity. And I've made some spicy videos and stuff for sure. But I mean, I really am not reading the bad part of this. I guess maybe I'm not cynical enough. I know the 6 months on the standard characters is lame, but I think the rest of this is just sounds pretty good. Now, I don't want to go too crazy, right? Like the dispatch mode is not unique, right? This is something that this is not a big deal because they were going to add it anyway, but this is earlier, all right? And this, I think, might be earlier. It might not be, though. That's not a big deal. But the point is, they're giving us a selector with it, which is very, very good. Basically, a selector. And they're giving us a bunch of shit. And, of course, the higher value shop items. And, of course, the EX in the future. We don't know what that is, but that 5-star weapons are very fun. They really can make characters more enjoyable to use, especially 4 stars. So I'm hoping this will allow us to get more 4-star characters, 5-star weapons. But, guys, let me know what you think. I mean, this seems like a win-win. Like, this seems fantastic. I mean, if this isn't enough, I want to know what else. I'm curious what else you guys think. What are your criticisms? What are your positives? I am happy with this, and I'm excited. This makes me more excited for the game because this means this doesn't feel like it's a pump and dump, right? Because and I never thought it was, but they are gearing this up for long-term success, right? They're not just continuing to double down and make things worse and worse and worse. They're planning to make this game last a long time, probably because of how much money the game made. They probably released it to the Western audience, saw that it made as much money as it did. They're like, oh shit, we can keep this going. All right, let's just keep it going then. We'll be a little more generous. We'll change these things that people dislike, and then we'll keep making buckets of cash. That's what I guess happened. The only thing they need to do still, add a content creator program. If you guys can make a big uproar for me on my behalf, let's get a content creator program, man. Let's get some sponsorships. I'm not biased. Brought to you by Carl's Jr. Anyway, guys, that's all for today. Much love. Per platypus per ploutopus. I'll see you on the flip flops. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. See you in the next one. Bye.